Hello there everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the first episode of my heroes playlist, and I'm going to be explaining a little bit more about a certain hero for every time I make an episode, explaining how much they have inspired and how much I've respected them so much for what they have done, regardless whether if this was a person I was not born around to see because I didn't exist during that time, or during current days, or the times where I was a child. But anyways, before we move on, I just wanted to say that this right here will be my first episode, and let's get started. The first hero that I wanted to present in my video goes by one of the names that is mostly known within Metallica. He was one of the greatest bassists who ever lived within Metallica. Now, there's a lot of controversy surrounding whether if he's underrated or overrated, but to my point of view, who cares if he's underrated or overrated? The important thing is that in a personal perspective or an opinion of mine, I believe he is one of the greatest bassists that I have ever seen, and that I have taken a lot of inspiration from this sort of person. I mean, I'm not a bassist myself because I'm more of a drummer, but listen to the type of music that this person has made within the bands of Metallica himself. Otherwise, from his name as Cliff Burton, one of the legendary bass players within that band. It was thanks to Cliff Burton that Metallica had its great edge when it came to other albums such as Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. I mean, we can go back to the Kill 'Em All album when you can go to his bass solo, Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth, and you can see how much he's playing like a badass. Now, as opposed to the other albums that have come out for Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets, Master of Puppets being the song for an example, Orion, what's another one? Call of Ktulu as an example. But there's also one that you can also look at as Seek and Destroy, when you can hear the bass just go at it right after when James Hetfield screams Seek and Destroy, and he goes wow, wow, wow. You can tell that he's got the attitude, he's got the sound, he's got the rhythm to it. And, there's just so much about Cliff Burton that I want to say. So, it's not just the fact that he makes good music. It's not just that. Cliff Burton is also one of these musicians that's opened my eyes a little bit, that you can love more than just one genre of music. I mean, Cliff Burton, as a good example, has loved more than just metal music itself. He liked classical, even country. I mean, country music itself, I'm not a fan of country, but I'm saying as a good example, he loved country, he loved classical music, he loved classic rock as well. I mean, and that's what sort of opened my eyes a little bit to it, is because I love more than just, I love thrash metal, I love metal itself, death metal, power, whatever kinds you can go with that, but I also love other types of music as well. And so it's thanks to him, it's expanded my, my horizons and my taste for music as well. Not only just for metal, but, for rock, some soundtrack for it, some classicals. I mean, I love that too. Even some indie as well. I mean, even ambient music as well. So it's not only because Cliff Burton has, the attitude and the music and the way that he plays, metal in just a derived way. It's because he's helped. I believe he's also shown people that it's okay to love one genre of music and still love another genre as well. So, so no judgment is made upon you. And that Cliff Burton has contributed so much ever since before when he died in the bus accident in 1986. There was one song that was not completed yet, which is "To Live Is To Die," which he still got his credited. He still got credit for the Injustice for All album. I think that's one of the songs that hits me the most, because it's showing how the band feels within that song about how someone they love to death, who's passed on, and it's tough to live that sort of thing when you know that a band member of yours who happens to be one of your good close friends or one of your best friend, when they die, there's not really much that you can do after that except to either mourn, be angry, or something like that. But with "To Live Is To Die," which was Cliff Burton's song, it was the way to express how they felt when it came to him. And that Cliff Burton hasn't just inspired people like me to expand my horizons with music, but he's inspired so many people nowadays, from back then when they first noticed him to even currently this day, that people still feel inspired by listening to what he has. He's been one of those musicians who, in a good way, tries to keep the band Metallica grounded. And, that's something I can respect. And that's why I look at Cliff Burton as one of my good favorite heroes apart with that. And trust me, there's a whole lot more I'm going to discuss about Metallica. There's a whole lot more heroes from that one, so believe. Now, I may be 22, and I probably wasn't, I most likely was not around during that time, during when Cliff Burton was, rocking or ruling the entire world with Metallica with their music, because I was born in 1992, the year the Black Album came out. But, after watching the videos and then realizing of the music that he's made, I don't just see a talented musician, I see someone who has, brought the world to its knees with music, but in a way, having a lot of people fall in love with that music, and that's what really is important to what I feel, is because, like I said before, it's not because of how he also played, but he's also inspired people like me to show that you can love one set of music and still love another set without having to be judged. And, that's what makes it so good, and that's what helps expand tastes around, and that's what helps create the sound that you want, or create the music that you want. Depending on what you listen to, and if you wanted to drive to that edge, and then that's the edge you want. So I have to thank Cliff Burton for a lot, even though I was not around during that time. And, I know when he passed on in 1986, still lives on to a lot of people, and that, it goes to show that music itself, even if one person passes on or dies, they still live on through music. They still live on through people's influence from him, of how they feel and how they feel inspired from him. So there's really no point in saying that music itself is dead, when even though creators like Cliff Burton and all other sorts of musicians have strived to make this sort of music for us, and so they still live on through us. They still live on through music, they still live on through the masterpieces that they make, and that's what makes it count, because they still live on through our hearts, and they still inspire us to this day to make good music. And not just music, but other things as well. So that's why I had to put Cliff Burton in my heroes section for episode 1. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you all for tuning in. I'm Jasper Winabo, the Thrash Metal Guru. You guys have a very wonderful day.